Welcome back, my dear learners. My dear learners, in this very particular video of mine, I'm just going to explain it to you, the first stanza of one of the most beautiful lyrics written or composed by William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth, one of the most important poets of the Romantic age, the age that began with the publication of the lyrical ballads in 1798. Remember, my dear learners, the lyrical ballads is a collection of 23 poems, and out of those 23 poems, 19 are written by William Wordsworth, whereas the 4 written by his best friend and the greatest poet of that age, that is Samuel Taylor Coleridge. This collection begins with the poem of S.T. Coleridge, that is the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and the just collection ends with the beautiful poem of William Wordsworth, that is Tintin Abbey. So this poet, the poet I am going to discuss with you with his own poem, is William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth belongs to the first generation of the Romantics. It means the Romantic age was divided or is divided into two separate generations, because of the magnitude of the poets. So the first generation of the poets includes William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge, and Robert Surrey, three great stalwarts of the first generation, whereas the 3 great stalwarts or the giants of the second generation, that is also known as the younger generation. We have John Keats, we have P.B. Shelley, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and last but not the least, my dear learners, we have Lord Byron. So, my dear learners, if it is not wrong to call Wordsworth the face of this very particular age, why? Because John Keats, John Keats, P.B. Shelley, Lord Byron, and many more like Harden, Hazlitt, they were the limbs of the Romantic age. So, see, actually William Wordsworth is known for his nature poems. He is called the nature poet. Why? Because you will find nature as the background or as the setting of almost all the poems of William Wordsworth. Just like this very particular poem, I'm just going to explain it to you, that is the Solitary Reaper. The Solitary Reaper also starts in the open, beautiful lap of nature in Scotland. Remember this, the setting of this very particular poem is in Scotland. Actually, William Wordsworth was on a trip to this very particular country with his beloved sister Dorothy Wordsworth, and the experience they got from this very particular just a visit culminated in the shape of this very particular poem. It is said that William Wordsworth wrote this poem in 1805, and this poem came into print in 1807. This poem can be put into the category of lyrics. Why? Because here we see the strong emotion, strong feelings of this very particular speaker, of this very particular writer, that is William Wordsworth, my dear learners. So my dear learners, now let us look at the first stanza of the poem, that is consisted of 8 lines. So see, if we look at this poem, as per certain number of the critics, this poem is divided into 4 stanzas, 8 lines each. Means total number of the lines in the poem, 32 lines. But if we look at this poem with the lens of the ballad, bearing in mind ballad, why? Because actually he is narrating a tale. He's narrating a tale of a certain reaper, of a certain Scot girl, a Highland girl. He saw reaping all alone in the fields of Scotland. So if we look at the poem as a ballad, then we'll say that the poem is divided into 8 stanzas, 4 lines each. Why? Because generally ballad is written in or divided into stanzas carrying or holding 4 lines each with the rhyme scheme AB or AB, BC or ABCB, generally AB. This is the general rhyme scheme of the ballad. So if we look at this poem as a ballad, the poem is divided into 8 stanzas, 4 lines each. If we simply look at as a lyric, then we can say that the poem is divided into 4 stanzas, 8 lines each. So now, my dear learners, let us look at the poem and try to understand this beautiful lyric from the pen of my greatest our greatest poet, that is William Wordsworth, my dear learners. So let us look at the poem. See, behold her single in the field, yon solitary Highland lass. So see, it seems that here the poet is addressing the first stanza or the first 4 lines of the poem to his certain listeners, to his unknown listeners, or to those passers-by who were just passing that way Wordsworth was passing along. So it seems that Wordsworth addresses certain passers, certain listeners, certain unknown listeners. So if the poem is in the form of an address, or begins in the form of an address, or begins with the address, we can say that apostrophe is used in this poem. Why? Because he says, behold her. It means Wordsworth is asking some unidentified or unknown passers to draw their attention to him, and to draw their attention towards the mesmerizing song of the single reaper, whose song had absolutely arrested the attention of the poet because of its melody, because of its sweetness, because of its tune. So he says, behold means see, her single in the field, alone in the field, yon solitary highland. Yon means to that. Yon particularly here is used to indicate that very particular girl or that very particular reaper who is a few yards away from Wordsworth, reaping, absolutely lost. She is absolutely lost and reaping. She does not know that somebody is hearing her song. Somebody is not hearing. Somebody is listening to her melody, that music. See the next line of the poem. Reaping and singing by herself. It means this girl is all alone in her cornfield, in her field. Nobody's there. She is singing and reaping. It means she is performing two actions side by side or at the same time. It is her singing and her reaping goes hand in hand or goes at the same time, means simultaneously she is reaping and singing. See, stop here or gently pass. So it seems as if again Wordsworth is addressing his unidentified, unnamed, unknown listeners, particularly either to bring the pace of their feet down or to stop at all. Why? Because he does not want the girl to be disturbed in her own song. Why? Because he's 100% sure that provided that the girl gets to know that her song is being heard or somebody is hearing her song, definitely she will stop singing. So the poet does not want the girl to be disturbed by those just walkers or by those passers who are passing, and that's why the poet is making a personal request to those people either to stop or to at least reduce the pace of their quick footsteps. See this. Alone she cuts and binds the grain. So see, emphasis is that in the first line he says, reaping and singing by herself. Yes, alone she cuts and binds the grain. Again the word alone. See this. Here single, here by herself. Loneliness means nobody is there. Again and again he wants to emphasize on this very particular thing, that the girl was single. There was nobody else. There was no any other reaper at the side or by the side of the girl. She was alone in the field. So maybe the Wordsworth actually indirectly gives a hint about the social standing of that very particular reaper. Maybe the social standing of that girl was not very much solid. She was a victim of poverty. She was the victim of her bad luck. And that's why this girl is all alone in the field, reaping and singing. See this. And sings a melancholy strain. Strain means song. And here the poet says, maybe the poet says on the basis of the tune, on the basis of the body language of this reaper, that she was not singing, she is not singing a joyous song. Probably she was singing a sad song. Oh, listen, see again the poet addresses to those passers. It seems those passers or those people who are going past that way are absolutely indifferent to the song of that girl, that song that has held the attention, that has arrested the attention of the speaker of the poem. See this. Oh, listen for the whole veil profound. You can say that there is a very good use of hyperbole in the poem, because he says He says that the song of this girl can be heard everywhere. Entire the valley is echoing, resounding with the song of the girl. It means here the poet is exaggerating the song of this girl. It means hyperbole is used in this poem. See, the last line of the poem is overflowing with the sound. Same thing, that he says that the song of the girl can be heard everywhere, is flowing everywhere, entire the valley, entire the open area of the valley is overflowed or flooded with the beauty of the song of the girl. Thank you, my dear learners. I hope this explanation will help you understand this poem, my dear learners. That's it in this video, my dear learners.